Shadow of the Erdtree is a fitting and challenging continuation and send-off to Elden Ring. Featuring some of the best boss fights FromSoftware has designed so far, the Shadow Realm is huge with plenty to see and do, and new equipment will completely change established builds. It's also one of the most challenging DLCs FromSoftware has made so far. There's a brand new world to explore with its own mysteries, stunning sights, and world-ending threats to make it stand out from the lands between. To access the DLC, you'll need to defeat Starscourge Radahn as well as Mohg, Lord of Blood, which will then unlock the way forward via Miquella's corpse egg thing in Mohg's arena. Upon entry, you'll be greeted to a whole new world, the Shadow Realm, along with a new mission: find Miquella. While it's not as big as the lands between, it's a sizable expansion that you're not going to explore quickly. It's a much more linear experience, but you'll quickly find there are several locations that you seemingly can't access even with some clever parkour or torrent. Like the base game, the scenery is gorgeous and varied, where simply changing the time of day can make an area you've already been to look like an entirely new world. I'd often stop in my tracks to peer out towards the sea as the sun began to set. Just beautiful. Even with fully upgraded gear, my plus 10 Mimic tier, and all the powerful new weapons and talismans the DLC has to offer, Shadow of the Erdtree gave me a serious run for my money. Yet despite the challenge and a few instances where I thought, I don't think I can beat this thing, I persevered and felt an immense amount of satisfaction upon finally felling my enemy, which is exactly what you want in a Souls-like. Make no mistake though, the satisfaction must be earned, and the new bosses will do anything but go down quietly. I'd like to avoid spoilers in this, so the bosses I'm going to use as examples are the Divine Beast Dancing Lion and Mesmer the Impaler, both of which are seen in the gameplay trailer. The Dancing Lion is the first boss you fight, and my lord, what an introduction. I've always said the trick to mastering Soulsborne combat is to treat it like a dance, and this fight was that idea personified. The boss bounds across the stage, spins, twirls, somersaults over you, all while unleashing a wide range of elemental attacks, many of which will be your end if you're not paying close attention. A little later down the line you meet Mesmer, the face of the DLC and a real contender for my favourite boss in the entire FromSoft catalogue. Without getting into spoilers, I found him to possess all the qualities a good boss should have: an intriguing story, a radically cool design, a diverse moveset, and most importantly, spectacle. That overwhelming feeling that this is one of the most important fights of your life. Mesmer had that in spades, and I can't wait to see what the fanbase makes of him. However, if you find yourself struggling, fear not, as Shadow of the Erdtree has a variety of tools and help to assist you on your journey should you need it. There are loads of new weapons, cracked tiers, spells, armor sets and talismans to find, with some hidden out in the world, some stashed away in dungeons, and a few locks behind bosses or field enemies. There are also plenty of options for brand new builds exclusively for the DLC. My personal favourite is the new martial arts, which sees your character perform a variety of awesome kicks and leg sweeps, no weapon required. There's also a talisman that buffs two-handed weapons, as well as a spell that can heal allies from a distance, which is great for those who like to summon allies or use the Mimic tier. There are also new collectibles to find which unlock Skagitry blessings and Revered Spirit Ash blessings. The former increases your overall damage and damage negation, whereas the latter buffs your Spirit Ashes. This is a great way to even the odds when you're struggling to progress, but it's in no way mandatory. It's a great way to ensure that you're not too outmatched if your level is slightly behind the recommendations. And these blessings only apply to the DLC too, so if you exit the Realm of Shadow, you'll be back to normal. The world is far more vertical than the base game, which makes it a lot harder to figure out where you need to go and how to get there. While Sights of Grace will point you where you need to go to advance the story, I can guarantee many players will completely miss some of the more impressive areas purely from not being able to figure out how to get there. You can only ride around aimlessly for so long before you question if the locked off area is even worth seeing. And that's not a good feeling to have for a game like Elden Ring, because 9 times out of 10, it is worth seeing. All in all, Shadow of the Erdtree is a fitting conclusion to FromSoftware's biggest and most successful title to date. It guides the player by the hand into a brand new world of mystery and intrigue, treats them to some of the most memorable fights in the series, and rounds off things the only way FromSoftware knows how, leaving you wondering what the hell just happened. Rest assured though, Elden Ring fans, it's one hell of a send-off.